Hello, this is Dawn with the Spiritual View, and I'm doing a recording regarding the messages that the Thoth Deck has for this energy of not only the full moon, but also this portal energy of Lionsgate, because that Leo Aquarius axis will be speaking to us for the next 6 months and the next year as we move forward. So I wanted to get messages from Thoth regarding what is going to be occurring and what we should use as our energies moving forward. And I got some very interesting answers. So I'm going to share those with you. It's very exciting what is coming about. So this initially started, I was like, oh, I'll just do a reading and I'll start with some oracle cards. And these were the same oracle cards I used earlier in the day that they'd come out. And then I drew some Thoth energy on them. So you are at the divine Y point. Yes, we are all coming up on these energies where we're going to have to make decisions as to what direction we're going to be heading. And really, it's more about your heart. What is, this is a number 33 card. What is it are you being called to? Also, we're in the process of finding a lot of our own tribe members. A lot of the readings I've done, there's a lot of energy towards, okay, we're finding other people that have the same interests that we do, that we can feel comfortable being ourselves with. And the other card that had come out at that time was also your 11-year-old self, which is very much this Leo sun energy, where it's the inner child. It's that joyfulness that we have in everything. So in this whole energy of you are at the divine Y point, it should be follow your bliss. Where do you think you should be going next? I take that back. Not think, feel. Where do you feel you should be going next? And that's that energy. What are you being led to follow? Now, so I was very interested in that energy. So I thought, okay, I'll draw some cards from the Thoth deck. And with the Thoth deck, I don't usually draw. And what I did this time was actually let the cards come out on their own. And I got some very interesting messages. So the very first card that came out, this is the 8 of Cups. This is called indolence, but it's Cups energy. And the interesting thing about the Thoth deck is, like, it doesn't read like any other tarot card deck. It's got its own special messages and very much to what relates out there. So this is Saturn in Pisces energy. Stagnation, obstruction, emotional blockage, laziness, unclearness, and swamp. Guess what's going to be happening this fall? Saturn is going back into Pisces, and so is Neptune. So things being unclear, things being a bit of an emotional swamp. Yes, I definitely think that. I think that this is really giving us a warning going forward that we do have some things that we have to address regarding the Pisces energies, and very much realizing that Saturn is going to go back to 25 degrees, all the way back to 25 degrees. That was the degree of the very first eclipse that happened in this axis of Pisces and Virgo. So that I find interesting. Plus, that degree kept getting activated over and over and over again with more than one eclipse, because later on there was another eclipse that was a 23, 24 degree eclipse that was right near those degrees. So we're taking a look at this energy. And what I found interesting about this message, and the thing that stood out for me, this is, it felt like standing water, as it says here. You have already wasted enough of your energy on people who give nothing in return. You have filled them with your energy, but they were like bottomless barrels. You feel empty and sucked dry. And that is the energy of this Y point connection. You are supposed to be paying attention to the self now. You are supposed to be releasing those energies They are not to be holding you back. Um, the more you try to revitalize that relationship, it's fallen into a rut. So the more that you are trying to keep that relationship going, the more powerless and empty you will feel. Any attempt to re-energize will just take away your energies further without any results. It is a bottomless pit. These people are a bottomless pit. Cut them loose. They are not serving your energy. It is time to move forward. They are not going to change. You can't change them. So this is the energy of, I feel like it's their indolence. It's their being unwilling to see anything. And that is their choice. Everybody has to make their own choice. This is free will. This is the example of free will. Everyone has to make the choice for themselves. It doesn't do you any good to point anything out. It doesn't serve you to, I mean, you are wasting air by trying to talk them into something. So this is part of that energy that the Thoth is showing us. And I think we'll see that playing out over the next 6 months as those retrogrades occur, as those retrogrades happen for the last time. So it'll be another 28, 29 years before Saturn returns to Pisces after it leaves. And Neptune is going to go back into Pisces to the 29th degree, the anuretic degree, which is very much about, unclear things going on. And I really don't think that we're going to actually have a really firm idea of what's happening, because the energies aren't going to culminate as to what the new is going to be until we reach that February 20th date, where we have the energy of Saturn and Neptune meeting at 044 of Aries. That's February 20th. Now, they are actually in a conjunction. They are close enough to be considered in a conjunction, and this is kind of that dress rehearsal. But the clock officially starts ticking for them on February 20th. 4 days before that, there is a solar eclipse in Aquarius. Powerful, powerful energies. And we have not seen this 0-degree meetup of Neptune and Saturn since about, I think it goes back all the way to about 4000 BC. So not in any of our recorded astrological insights, the people that have gone back and found it, it's been that long ago, which is very interesting to me, because we have the return of some of these outer asteroid goddesses, and they are very, 25,000 year cycles, 11,400 year cycles, coming back in and bringing their energy with them and what they stood for and their knowledge. So I find that very interesting. So what other things came out in the Thoth deck? That was big enough for me. I was like, Saturn and Pisces. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. It is going to be a mess. So what other things came out? Interestingly, the Emperor came out. And I'm not a huge fan of the Emperor, just because most times I feel like it's someone who is a very unevolved masculine who, wants his way to get his way. And you have to do what I say. And I just don't care for that energy. But in the Thoth deck, it gives a very different meaning. It's that Aries energy, that pioneer, the discoverer, the leader, the initiator. And it has great leadership qualities to it. The urge for action, adventurous, new beginnings. He is very much at the very beginning of something new that he is going to be leading people into. And I do feel that that's a lot of the energies that are coming forward. as we move into things, that we are, especially the ones that are awake now, are being asked to step up into leadership for those that are going to be awakened a little further on, like in the next 6 months to a year. There's going to be a lot of people going, wait a minute, what's going on? So I feel in this case, the emperor is about us doing that leadership energy. And it's definitely Aries, but that's where we get that energy of the 0 degrees Aries that's going to be happening on February 20th. So again, this deck always speaks very loudly about what is going on, and it doesn't pull any punches. It really doesn't. So one of the other things that came out, volunteered in the reading, basically, was this well, there was blocked energy, this Mercury and Taurus energy. And this is actually the discs. This is the 5 of discs. So it's a blocked energy. It's about, people that are pessimistic, brooding. They have these survival fears going on, and their communication isn't very good. I think that people that are not awakened are going to be going through this worry energy. And I think people that know that we're going through these big changes, they're not going to be in that survival mode. They're going to be like, okay, I'm part of a community. When the whole village eats, it's a good day. And being part of the Aquarius energy, being a part of that leadership of the new energy in the Aries of the emperor. So I think the energy of this worry and this survival instinct is going to be more with people who are just afraid of what they don't know. Many, many astrologers will tell you they do not know what's coming because it's never happened in a way that we would have knowledge and recording of what this is. But it is definitely a brand new beginning. There's new changes. Things are supposed to be breaking down so that something completely new can come in. And we are having the earth change a lot. There'll be a lot of natural disasters, or just the fact that the earth is saying, okay, I'm going through changes. So, more volcanic activity, maybe more underwater earthquakes, possibility of tsunamis that may or may not, amount to anything. There are changes. And we are going to be asked to face those and accept them and move forward, because we're not going to change that it's happening. It's going to happen. And we have to let go of the idea that we are going to know exactly what that's going to look like, because we don't. We don't have any idea of what that's going to look like. And that's one of the hard things, because we always base whatever we think on what we've experienced in the past. But this being a brand new thing, we don't know what to expect. And that brings a lot of fear to people. So be aware of that and hold your vibration, because I think that's one of the bigger things that's going to be happening is people that understand that we're going through changes and that we're not going to prevent changes, and still can hold that vibrational level and still have their community and still understand that, the part of this is working together with other people in a mutually beneficial pattern. Aquarius is recognizing that everybody is an individual. That's this full moon. Everyone is an individual, but we all can have a common goal for the collective. And that is extremely important. One of the things that happened is also I looked at the underside of the deck, and this is the Strength card. This was called Lust in the tarot, in the Thoth Tarot. And one of the interesting things I find is that, it does represent the Leo energy. And to me, Leo energy is very heart-centered. And what this also says is Leo is passion, multi-dimensional creativity. No kidding, multi-dimensional creativity. Open up. Talents, strengths, integration of animalistic energies, overcoming old fears and conditionships. What is that meaning? What were you trained as a child? To be seen and not heard, or don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about? Overcome those old ingrained fears. And also many people are breaking ancestral trauma. And being that beacon, the traditional name for this card is strength. And this word lust really is meant to mean more like vital energy. It includes the joy, the enjoyment of, the strength. It means passion. And it represents divine intoxication, ecstasy, divine madness. I think that, we are meant to enjoy ourselves. We are meant to have a higher connection, and that will bring us a great deal of joy and creativity. And dance more, please, please. If you are ready to accept all which you find in yourself, you will be able to move through everything with deep sensitivity, awareness, love, and understanding. What I see happening in the future is when we move into the energy, and we have this going on for the next year easily. And in a year, when there's a full moon in Aquarius again, on that day, the sun is in a cazimi with Jupiter. Pretty impressive for a full moon, don't you think? We also will have the energy of the eclipse in Aquarius. And that is happening this coming winter. So there is incredible energy that's coming forward, and there's going to be a lot of changes, especially in the next 6 months. Moving forward, really find your joy, find what is your bliss, move into that. That will keep you on the higher timeline. And the energy of Aquarius is, I think we will find situations that we have to work together with people that we don't agree with. But we do have a common goal, and that's enough. We don't need to have anything more than that in order to work together. Setting aside personal beliefs, personal politics, ideologies. When there's a natural disaster and someone no longer has a house, it doesn't matter what their politics are. It matters that the community comes together and helps all who are in need. And I think that is the energy that's going to be coming forward. Do I think it's going to be that dire? No. But I do think those situations are going to happen in one way or another, over and over and over again. And we have the choice to make whether we are going to step forward into that energy and without giving up our own authenticity, be able to work with others. And that's exactly what Aquarius is. So that was on the bottom of the deck. The other thing that came out was this Knight of Wands energy. This is a very fiery aspect. It's forward motion, increased insight, and coming change. And this is a very fast night. Things will be happening quickly. I can't even tell you how many things I anticipate are going to change in the next 6 months. And then when we step into the brand new energy, things that we aren't expecting, answers that we aren't expecting are going to appear. This symbolizes mastery of growth and inner development. So he has taken the task of removing all obstacles and blocks on the path towards his own growth. His cape is made of flame. His helmet is ornamented with a unicorn's head whose horn symbolizes the third eye. His own vision has become a vehicle, the horse, for decisive dealing with the outer world. So be prepared. And I like the fact that he has his own armor and protection. The energy created by increased perception is set free and now manifests. It is unstoppable. Even difficult situations will move in a constructive direction. We are going to be able to manifest quicker, and we'll learn more about manifesting as we go through all this energy. So be awake, be aware, ready for people or situations which could produce dynamic changes in your consciousness. Be grateful for this gift from existence. Receive it and don't cling to it. We're all going through this evolution of change. So these are the messages that came out from the Thoth deck about a great deal of change that is happening in the future. It's going to be happening quickly. We need to release any toxic energies that are holding us back. We need to stop trying to convince people of what their opinion should be, or get them to agree with us, or at least have them, choose that higher vibration, that Y point. This is free will. This is not something that you can change. Free will is a gift that is given from God to everyone. It's the highest order to me in the universe is free will. They have to choose it themselves. So with that, I will close off this reading, but what a powerful thing to have happen for Lionsgate, that we have Thoth speaking through to give us messages about what's going to be happening in the future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you